All right, all right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Scene Live. This is a space for entrepreneurs who are building something meaningful and want a business that supports their life, not just their income. I'm Kim Speed, and I'm a brand clarity coach and entrepreneur, and I work with experienced professionals who've started service-based businesses but are struggling with consistent clients. And on this show, we share real stories. What actually worked, what didn't, the lessons that we've learned by doing the actual work. My goal is to help you get clearer, feel more confident, and become visible. To build a business that's more stable, aligned, and sustainable. And I am so glad you are here. So today, my guest today on the scene is Daniel Wickens, and he is the owner and managing director of Wicomms UK. Daniel helps micro small businesses simplify their communications and utilities so they can focus on what really matters: growth, freedom, and balance. No jargon, no call centers, just practical, personal solutions that actually work. Before Wicomms, Daniel built a successful career in finance, but everything shifted after his eldest son faced a serious health scare and was diagnosed with ADHD. The experience reshaped Daniel's priorities and showed him the real value of flexibility, not just in family life, but in business too. And today, Daniel combines his financial expertise with a passion for technology to help business owners stay connected without the stress, without the overwhelm or unnecessary complexities. And Daniel, I'm really glad you're here. Welcome to the scene.
Thank you, Kim. Thanks for having me. It's been great to be here.
It is lovely to have you, and thank you so much for joining us later in the evening. I know that this is kind of messed up a little bit with your kids and their bedtime, so I appreciate you being here.
That's absolutely fine. For the earliest you've had them in bed all week, it's been great.
Oh, well, let's get into it. So, Daniel, you didn't start in telecom, you started in finance. Can you walk us through that transition and what ultimately led you to build Wicomms?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so obviously, yeah, left college, not knowing what we really wanted to do, or school rather. Went to college, and the finance and accountancy units kind of just clicked. So that kind of felt like a bit of a sensible path to pursue. But yeah, over time it became clear that wasn't really aligned with what we wanted to do anymore. And as you alluded to in the build up, that real wake up call came when my son ended up in hospital, and that forced that hard reset. Makes you question what you're doing. And that shift led to coming across Utility Warehouse, which for those who don't know is a network marketing business in the UK, helping households reduce their energy, broadband, and mobile costs. That later followed by adding in a second business onto that for business energy, in partnership with a business energy consultant. And then that crazy time of 2020 hit us, and the lockdown phase, where the online networking blew up, and obviously it's what led over 5 years later is what's led us to meeting, which is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, through that online networking, by pure chance really, we met the original founder of what then became Wicomms. And March 21, I think it was, we started working together to help businesses with their telecoms requirements. So phones, phone systems, mobiles, internet, all that fun stuff. And it started on a kind of freelance, profit shared basis, but quickly evolved into something much bigger. And then by November 22, we got directorship and shareholding it, and then a year later, end up actually acquiring the business before rebranding it. So
Wow.
it's been quite a roller coaster journey. But
And
yeah,
quite a jump from finance, I must say.
absolutely,
Like,
it is. Yeah, massively. I think it's what it has taught me. Telecom seems to have allows me to geek out, and I think I found what I should have been doing all along. Really, geek out a bit of configuration and help people along the way, and really help people essentially.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
it's been a bit of a change, to say the
Well,
least.
and interesting too that you say, you were in network marketing before the transition into the company you have now, Wicomms UK,
Yeah,
because I find that this seems to suit you because you're very much a people person. We've met at a networking group,
yeah,
and you seem to really shine with other people. So
I appreciate that.
I can't imagine you hiding away in the accounting department anywhere. That's for sure.
No, exactly, that's it, exactly that.
So you shared that your son's health scare and diagnosis deeply influenced how you view work and life.
Yeah.
How did that moment change the way you define success?
Yeah, I'd say massively. I think before that, success was your usual sort of on paper career progression, up titles, income, external validation probably. And then afterwards, it became more about options, and being able to, have that flexibility to attend appointments and be around when needed. Because the structure of my week, whilst it's been fairly stable for a little while now, at times it does require that last minute change for an appointment. So it's a case of building that career around that rather than the other way around. I think it's reinforced that with the ADHD diagnosis my son had later, that we definitely need that flexibility to adapt, and support that lifestyle.
Yeah. It's amazing what happens when to your life, how it changes when you have kids. Um,
Yeah,
I know that too. It's 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 um, it's a complete 360. I
oh,
remember thinking after my first child, what the heck did I ever do with all my time before?
yeah, absolutely.
You used to think you were busy before, and now it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
But
that's it. It really
I
don't stop.
can't, yeah, I can't imagine having, like that worry of the health scare on top of everything else, and having to, deal with learning challenges and
Yeah,
things like that. And that was one child. You have two, right?
that's right. Yeah, yeah. So we had a
So
second
you're,
child a couple of years later. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, so you're balancing all kinds of stuff together.
yeah. Absolutely. A lot of
So
juggling.
And you say, and so there's, flexibility is something that a lot of entrepreneurs say they want,
Yeah.
but few truly build around it. So, what does flexibility actually look like in practice in your business? How do you manage to figure it all out? I know you say that, changing times to make appointments and things like
Yeah.
that, but
That's it. I think it's crucial because obviously, at the same time, you've got to set that expectation with clients. And essentially, with obviously, running the business as many listeners are, you can't, you have got to have some adaptation there to take that into account as well. So I think, practically that can mean, communication systems that don't fully rely on, you being available. So whether that's routed through call handling, which is kind of a big passion, especially on the sort of solopreneurs of the world, that we can find that phone rings all times a day. So protect that time, bit of call handling there, bit of time scheduling. So you've got a cloud system that works around your time in schedule as well.
yeah,
And I think that flexibility of routing from a phone perspective, routing the calls as appropriately, to support you and your clients, but ensuring you're not always on. At the same time, so you've got to have some downtime as well.
yeah.
Um, and just being adaptable, having the right tools in place to
And
really adapt.
And I love too. I remember seeing you not too long ago. I guess it was the last school break,
Yeah,
and you were on vacation with your family and managing your business. Now I know that's challenging sometimes, but is that some of the flexibility that you like? Is that you can be in different places and still be managing your
absolutely.
business? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. I think it's managing both the business and the family time, and for a way, being able to check in on stuff,
Yeah.
when it works, and being around. Because whilst at the moment it's primarily down to me and the AI assistant we mentioned the pre-chat to this. Essentially, that's the business as it stands at the minute. So if a call comes in, it's either going to be me, ideally, or the AIs will fall back into the voicemail. So there's the expectation to be, that if something comes in, we can do it, and we can pass it off to the tech support guys we've got in the background, if needed.
Yeah. And I think that's great. I remember too when I started my business. It's very similar reason. I wanted
Yeah,
to have some more time with my family, and I all of a sudden was given the opportunity to be with them, and that I didn't even realize how much time I had been missing out of
yeah,
their lives, and how much chaos there was before. um, and I know that running a business as a parent
hmm,
sometimes sounds like, you're just juggling your hours in different ways. But I think that's one of the things that I loved best is that
yeah,
I was able to go and, if I wanted to spend the afternoon at the school with the kids, or go to a trip, or see them in a sports competition, or in the afternoon, and then be able to come back and manage my work at a different time, like,
yeah.
choose the time that I was able to work. Do you feel the same? Did you
Absolutely,
find
that's
that?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of it. You can set them hours essentially, can't you? And block out the times in the diary where you want that
Yeah.
time away from the business, and for family, or just yourself. Sometimes we can be on.
Yes.
I say about being on all the time. I know last week was absolutely, don't feel like I switched off. Which in the short term is okay. We did that over a long period of time. You're going to burn out. So it's not just blocking out time for the family. It's taking a bit of a break for yourself as well.
Yeah. Yeah. um, I have to ask you too, like, I know that, there's one thing to have those positive things. What are some of the biggest struggles that you have had to deal with as being somebody that's living, trying to balance your life and your business at the same time?
I think it's the time and part of it gets getting out my own way. I guess in some ways of taking other people's opinions, and actually is it all valid? Um,
Yeah.
and so it's I think it's like trying to do everything, trying to do everything in one go. I guess we're all guilty to that. Yeah, trying to juggle all the hats, and permanently being reachable. Um, so yeah,
And
that
thinking that you
that
have to be reachable all the time.
exactly. That's it. Think
Yeah.
you've got to be reachable. Think you've got to do all these things. Whereas reality, we're all human, and you set the expectations right from the start. Clients get understanding.
Yeah.
I've got one that will ring me up. He's got a habit of ringing me up while I'm on the school run, which he rings up and goes, "You're on the school run, aren't you?" Yeah, that's fine. Take details of what he needs, or he said, "Oh, call me back when you're back at the desk." That's fine.
Yeah.
The understanding's there and expectations there, and luckily he's in a sort of similar boat with a son on autistic son. So he gets the send struggle as well.
Yeah. And
Um,
it's almost like you set the expectations when people start working with you too.
yeah,
I found that if I did that in the beginning, it was so much easier than if I tried to pretend that everything was like, a regular office. And when I started my business, it was definitely during a time when people didn't work, have real businesses from home necessarily, or a
yeah,
lot less. So I was always trying to, put up this facade and
yeah,
have a mailing address. And,
yeah,
I could have used your help with the telecommunications issues.
yeah. That's it.
Now everybody's got all the solutions right in the palm of their hand, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Um,
I think that's the other
Yeah.
challenge of sometimes is the challenge of working from home.
Yeah.
Because it's I know for me, the kitchen's over there, so I'm walking past the desk in the evening. It's like I'll quickly do that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so it's having that switch off.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
probably still the biggest challenge is actually switching off properly.
Yes.
We preach it, and we put the systems in place to from the telecom side of it and the emails and what have you, but the mind's still racing. That's probably the part of the badge of entrepreneurship, isn't it? So
Yeah. So how do you set some boundaries? Do you have help from, your wife, your partner? Do your kids help in that matter?
I try to, yeah. So yeah, occasional help from the wife. We've got the AI assistant on board now, which essentially acts as an AI call handling service. So I'm sort of conscious of the human first approach as much as possible. So that only kicks in when there's no one else available to answer any calls that come in, or even out of hours. I've set it up for now as well. So again, definitely time schedule on there. So the business is advertised as 8 till 6, for example. So the calls will route there. Outside of that, it's going to go to now the call, the AI call handling. Before that, it was the voicemail. We're finding most people don't want to leave voicemail, so let's give
Isn't
the
that
AI.
funny? Yeah.
It is, yeah. I think I saw a stat that 80% of people won't leave a voicemail.
Yeah.
How
And how
much
many
people?
people actually pick up the phone and answer it?
Well, this is the other side of it. Yeah, how many people pick up
Yeah.
the phone? And actually, how many people? Saw a prospective client, and their voicemail set up, but he said the problem is no one's listening to it.
Yeah.
So even if people are leaving a voicemail, people aren't listening to it. So I think there definitely has got to be a better way.
Yeah.
And hopefully the AI, as much as we were speaking earlier on, there's an element of skepticism when it comes to AI. But as we say, over the next couple of years, it's going to be one of those things that are embedded in people's lives in some way, shape, or form.
Well, and we talked a little bit before we got on this interview together, and we were talking about AI, Daniel and I, and how, it's becoming more acceptable. We're going to be using it just like when we started using the the interweb, or even computers, or when we got our mobile phones. Everything takes a little while. There's going to be some challenges with, and I mentioned there's of course going to be all kinds of things that people are going to try and scam people and things like that. It's the same as what we went through with the internet and all of that. But you know what I was just thinking, Daniel, is you were mentioning that you now have this AI service that helps answer the phone. Now, I bet you the next thing that's coming is that it's going to be that your AI is going to answer the phone for you, but also the person is going to, it's going to be a two-way conversation. So you get your AI bot to respond so that, it's talking about, well, you can, make a meeting or schedule something, or there's going to be so much change.
Oh, this is it. Yeah, exactly. Even the one we've got in place, which we've started and rolled out as a service to customers or clients. It's the rate of development on that is evolving. To booking appointments, and there's going to be there's talk of being outbound calling and all this sort of stuff as well. Capability. So it's evolving at a rate of knots.
Yeah. So how do you keep up with all of this?
Well, that's the $1,000,000 question. Luckily, we've got some fantastic wholesale partners, which are a fairly good, fairly substantial sized businesses in their own rights. In most cases, their main route to market is through the wholesale channel. So there's constant webinars, through them guys and updates. When it comes to the phone systems, one of the main ones we've got, all the development's done in house. They're constantly listening to partner feedback. So that system, even in the last 2 years since we got it on board, the rate of development in that has evolved massively to keep up with what people want. And I say it's all from feedback from partners that are getting, clients requesting saying, "Oh, it'd be great if it could do this." Okay, let's add it to the list. They get enough interest in that. Right, okay, let's do something about that.
And I think that's really interesting too. Like now customers are giving, it's almost like orders. I want the
Yeah.
service to do this. I want it to do this. And people are able to, pretty quickly. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't happen overnight, but faster than it ever used to.
Yeah. Oh,
Resolve
absolutely.
come up with
Yeah.
solutions.
Yeah, because people saying, "Oh, call recording's great, but it'd be great if it could transcribe it." Okay, that's on the roadmap. Transcribe it, summarize it, upload it into CRM automatically.
Yeah.
That's in the pipeline. And it's
And
like,
then use it as a customer research data to build out other things. Like it's just like this big loop. It's
massive.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for people like myself, I'm not technical. I have never done coding or anything like that. But to be able to have access to some of these things and, build our businesses and not have to have tons of employees now, it's a whole new world.
It is. This is it. Absolutely. Yeah, we were saying before, it helps level the playing field. Even if taking on staff down the line is on the roadmap, there's a time, financially until it becomes viable. So if, even if it is a stopgap, AI to fill that gap to get you there quicker. It's possible, and speaking to my youngest son the other day, he said, "I want to get into coding." So one of my first quick on ChatGPT, what impact is AI going to have on coding? And again, it's one of those areas that's it's gonna help it. It's not going to take it away from it. So I was like, okay, that's a safe route,
Because you still need to have the people in the back end that are building stuff for people like us that are wanting to use things to share with our customers.
Yeah.
So
this is it. So I think this is the thing, thinking, for the kids growing up, and that it's, if they got to learn they got to learn AI, essentially. They're going to be the ones that survive, and even those in jobs already, learn some AI, your job security increases.
sure.
Because whilst we can't, as sad as it is in a lot of ways, that there will be, some people might lose jobs over this. In some cases, it's going to be ones that know AI. They're going to be the higher chance of surviving.
Yeah, you can't avoid it. You've got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And you work with small businesses every day. So where do you see entrepreneurs overcomplicating things, especially when it comes to systems and tech and all this new stuff?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of people get a bit reactive and they think, oh yeah, that's a nice thing. And they bolt on, and suddenly got a lot of tools that don't talk to each other. I might see someone on one of the social media platforms promoting something. Oh, that sounds good. I'll have that. That sounds good. That might fix that, without actually understanding what the real problem is they're trying to solve.
Right.
And then they get bogged down. We spoke earlier on, in the build up to the show. We're trying to take away the jargon. There's a lot of jargon in the telecom industry. We can't get away from it. So there's people get sold on an overly complex system that they don't actually need.
That's interesting.
At times, so the small businesses you work with, they're after clarity, reliability, and a tool that actually just works and enriches their business rather than causes problems down the line with tech they don't need. So essentially, I think it comes down to fewer systems, better configuration, and integrating to solve a problem rather than cause more.
Yes, we don't need overcomplicating. We need simple. And you're right. Because there is so much tech and new things coming out, a lot of times you can just automatically it's like going down the aisle of the grocery store and picking and saying, yep. It's like going when you're hungry, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. That magpie with the shiny object, isn't it? Shiny. Let's get that shiny and new.
Yes.
But I think, oh yeah, it's almost like they're buying it to, oh, I'll buy it, I'll find a problem that it'll fix.
Yeah, or this seems like a good price. I should have it because I'll need it later.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yeah, exactly that.
I'm the worst for
Um,
that. Like, oh, this is
yeah,
on sale. I'm gonna get it so that I have it, and
yeah,
then yeah,
that's it.
then
I'll
you
play
can't figure
around.
out how to fit it into the tech stack.
Yeah, that's it. I think it's probably you get it. Yeah, you find yourself playing around with it, and then you've wasted so much time on it, and it's not actually not actually solving anything for you.
So that goes right back to my like so many people assume that growth means adding more tools and more
Mm,
platforms and more systems, but really
yeah,
we need to simplify life, and even
agreed.
more so now as we talk about all of the things that can help us. How I feel like we need somebody to come in and say, yeah, that's great, let me
Yeah,
simplify it for you, and you only need this, and don't
yeah,
worry. Like that's going to be huge. A
yeah.
huge service is
Oh,
to
that's it.
how can I simplify it? And that's sort of where you're going with your business, is to try and figure that out for people.
Absolutely. Yeah. So simplicity over complex. Rather than being complex, because complex confuses, doesn't scale. Um, and all these extra tools. It's more training. It's more exposure to errors. Decision fatigue is probably a massive one. Just the simpler the system, the easier it is to onboard staff. The quicker they get up to speed with it, and spot problems a bit quicker with something. When it comes to configuration, if it's we can spot where it needs changing, just to make it simpler for the end users, rather than having a fully complex, you know, all the bells and whistles when they don't actually need it.
Right. And that takes me to, like a lot of people watching will be small service-based businesses,
Yeah,
often working solo or independently or with very small teams. So what should they be prioritizing when it comes to communications, and the infrastructure that they require as they grow? Because you don't want to get something that doesn't expand.
no, exactly. This is it. Yes, you want something scalable. I think that professional aspect. Keeping things professional. So for me that starts with having a separate number for your business, rather than having a personal number. It's difficult once you've started with a personal number and you've started giving that out to business contacts to rein that back in. 'Cause
Yeah.
so as early on as ideal at the beginning, or at least early on, make that switch to a business number. Um,
And you can,
essentially,
and correct me if I'm wrong, but you can have that still go to wherever you're at, right?
yeah,
Or
absolutely.
to different people, different team members.
Yeah, absolutely. So I quite often encourage, whilst we can do the mobiles, I quite often encourage the cloud phone systems, or the acronym some people might be familiar with is VoIP, chucking in a little bit of jargon, excuse me there. Essentially, voice over internet protocol puts your number in the cloud. And what we're finding with a lot of that is at least 80% of our clients are having it as software. So they're an app on the mobile, app on their laptop or PC, and that becomes their phone system. What that then does, it gives them the scalability down the line. Even if they're a solopreneur now, they can add more users onto that. We've had 2 clients do that already this year. They rang me up at the beginning of the year. We've taken on a member of staff. Brilliant. Can
Yeah.
you add another user on? So it gives that scalability to it, but also means you can have that flexibility to travel around a bit as well. As long as
Right.
you've got as long as you've got a connection to the internet, whether that's via Wi-Fi or data on your mobile SIM, you can take that call wherever you like, but also easily divert it off to someone else if someone's covering for you. So it gives a lot of scalability to it. So I think that's a big one I'm passionate about for solopreneurs is having that separation,
Yeah.
um, setting the
And
call
they can
hand.
be they can be anywhere. Like, so I'm thinking it could be your VA, and that VA doesn't have to be in your same town, right?
Correct, absolutely. And even if it's a long term or a short term arrangement, there's that flexibility to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can be in, they could be in a different, different region, or even in a different country if it comes to it. There's that amount of flexibility to it.
And
Um,
that is really cool. Like I know that your communications is out of the UK,
yeah,
but that doesn't mean the people that have their business there don't work with people in other countries. Like
absolutely.
we're chatting.
Absolutely, this is it exactly. Comes back to the online networking, doesn't it?
That's right. That's right.
These relations, the world's become a bit smaller in that sense. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, but I think yeah, so amongst all of it, yeah, it's you come back to that scalability. So whatever system you choose, it's having that scalability because a lot of people, people got aspirations to, of different aspirations, whether it is just to have a comfortable life and just stay as a one person business. Others to take on staff and build something big. Um,
Yeah.
Everyone's got different goals, so having that scalability and flexibility to evolve that without the aggro, without changing phone numbers, other than initial, having that
And to
centralized.
be able to retract too, like if
Yeah,
you have an employee for a while that's only like a contract, being able to put them on and then take them
yeah,
off, easy too.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's it. Yeah, we've had a few of those where they, say, well, we're taking on this person short term. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll do a short term arrangement on it. Rather than a 12 or 24-month contract, we do a 30-day or a 6 months, or there's that element of flexibility
Yeah.
um, to help these businesses.
So I think this is awesome. Like, having the flexibility and then having somebody behind in your telecom plan,
Yeah,
to help you out with this. I think that's amazing because it has, like it used to be, remember, you just answered the phone and that's what it was. Now
yeah.
it's part of your marketing, it's part of your communications, it's part of, your HR. It's
Oh,
so
exactly. That's it.
intermingled into everything. Right?
Yeah, it's become. Yeah, I mean, so phone system has become so much more than that. 'Cause, you can add on. You've mentioned marketing. It's very cost effective now. Chucking on hold message on there. So you got that. If you're on that scenario of putting someone on hold temporarily, rather than
Yeah.
just being silence or a little bit of a jingle, well, actually, put a bit of message on there. Might be a product in that list you mentioned on hold that client didn't know about. Um,
Exactly.
they
Yeah.
come back on. Oh, we didn't know you did that. And there's the upsell opportunity. Very cost effective way of doing things. But there's so much you can do with these phones these days. As you say, rather than just to pick up, hello, hello, bye,
Yeah.
something in between.
Yes, so much opportunity, and it's so interesting that you got into this. So, for someone
Yeah,
listening who feels stretched thin, and going back to the work-life balance, juggling
yeah.
clients, family, and everything in between, what's one thing that they could simplify this year that would make the biggest difference?
I'd say stop being permanently reachable. Um, have them boundaries. Set that expectation out. Have them boundaries. So you protect you protect your time. Have the right call routing in place. Whether it's and then outside of that, whether it is voicemail or a call handling, whether it's AI or human. Um, but yeah, don't feel you've got to instantly respond. As long as you set that expectation out to the client. I've got a few clients that say, right, I get an automatic email back. Oh, we check our emails at certain times of the day. We'll respond then, sort of thing. Having that boundaries and expectation. Whether it's the call, whether it's the emails, however you're reached, that expectation that okay, you will respond, but it might, your emails are checked at
Right.
two,
Yeah.
three times a day, whatever, specific times. They know they're going to get a reply then.
Yeah.
They're not hounding you. But yeah, it does all
I
come
love
down to
that. Set
expectation.
expectations. Set expectations with your clients and customers early.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can even
Yeah.
put it into part of the contract or the service agreement, or um, find it find a way of outlining it if if needed.
Yeah. So, Last question for you. When you think
Yeah.
about the version of yourself who was just
Oh,
starting
crikey.
out on your entrepreneurial journey, what do you wish you had understood sooner about building a business?
Um, it's probably gonna come down to not yeah. I wish I'd known, didn't have to know everything or have everything figured out before getting started.
Yeah.
The journey has evolved massively. Who would have known it had gone from finance to you, to YouTube warehouse to then, the online. Well, who would have predicted lockdown, to be fair? Um,
Yeah.
and to then eventually end up in this business, acquiring it, rebranding it, and going from finance to telecoms in a fairly short period of time, really, to this extent. None of that journey was predictable.
Yeah.
But not have it figured out. Stay flexible.
I love
Um,
that. Stay flexible. I think
and
we all need a little bit more of that.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
it. And build something meaningful as well. Really, it's money's nice, but I think I think it's Gary V. The success is happiness, not
Yes.
financial.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, sometimes we need the financial because there are bills to pay, but really,
Absolutely, yeah,
how much is it that is going to make you happy? And we've seen so many people that have lots of money that aren't happy.
exactly that. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely.
So, Daniel, how do people get hold of you? What if somebody wants to get hold of you to find out either about your communications company, or what if they just want to reach out and talk to you about building a business and having work-life balance?
Yeah, so the you can go by the website, which is wicomms.co.uk. We're on LinkedIn as well. The handle on that is Daniel-Wickens-UK, I believe. Or there's the digital business card, which has got all my contact methods and social handles on, which is card.wickham.uk/Daniel.
And I will make
That.
sure that all of that is in the notes
Thank you very much.
and that people can reach you. Um, excuse me. And if you have any questions, reach out to Daniel. He answers very quickly on LinkedIn. I know that's a great place to connect with him. He'll answer your questions. He's great for our one-to-one. If you want to learn about telecoms or you want to learn about building a business and a life that is suitable for you, reach out. And Daniel, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it, and I enjoyed our conversation today.
Thank you, Kim. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for the invite in the first place.
Oh, you're so welcome. And we'll see you in the networking world.
Absolutely, yeah. See you then.
Okay, take care, and bye for
Cheers,
now,
Kim.
everyone.
Bye.